race. It is honestly the power of Sue Bird. I truly believe that. Like, she is, to me personally, she's always going to be someone who's like so special in my life. But like, just in terms of everyone she touches, it's like there's something magic about her.
She's a
magic.
magic.
It just really, really is.
I didn't realize that she was like kind of the catalyst behind everything, which makes a ton of sense because I was listening to her podcast recently and she always shouts you out. I've been hearing about you for years, and just like everyone in the league has speaks so freaking highly of you, and you've touched so many people. You've helped so many people.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's hard to kind of, I mean, when I think about the people that we're actually working with and like how it all works, it almost seems like a joke. To be so fortunate to be a mom and then also get to continue doing what I love. Like, I am so thankful to Sue because like she truly gave me that, and that's such a gift.
When you talk about Sue, I can tell like how much you love her, like what good friends you are. And we talk a lot about friendship in sport and how women can be competitive and also be friends and have a lot of respect. Can you just talk a little bit about your relationship with her if you're comfortable sharing?
Yeah, the first day I met her I was a performance coach for the Storm, and she was having surgery. And so I met her in the hallway, and I'm like, nice little, like little Susan from Stanford, and she's, from New York, like, and she meets me, she's like, I already know, I'm going to do a shit ton of squats. And I'm like, fair. Like, yes, you are going to be doing some of that, And then the first day, we're in there together. I'm like, okay, we're going to do something called the Lisa series. And she's like, who'd you say? And I said, oh, Lisa, like, it's my PT that I worked with at Stanford. And she's like, what's your last name?
So she knew.
She had done her knee rehab with her. Same rehab woman. So, like, immediately, this woman is, like, pure magic. So immediately from that standpoint, like, I had like street cred, and it was like, okay, we have common ground because anything coming from her was going to be good. She knew that, and so I think from there it was just kind of like, and fast forward to, working with her for all these years, working with Megan. I've gotten to know Megan and be really close with her as well. And I mean, I don't know that you could find a better, more fun-loving, amazing sports couple out there, right?
We're obsessed. We love them.
Yeah,
we listen to their podcast,
they're
we love
amazing.
them.
Yes. To now sort of fast forward to being at the Olympics with her, and now sort of this new role that she's stepping into. Like, she is the most intelligent, most sort of caring person that it's just like she is USA basketball to me for all the time she spent there and just sort of how she carries herself. And so I just can't wait to see what she's going to do with that role. It's going to be amazing. And she was like born for it, So.
And you get to work alongside her and with USA basketball as
so
well,
up until this point, I've done that.
Okay.
I've been in the performance role for them.
It was just really cool to see you light up when you talk about her, because I think celebrating the friendships that emerge out of relationships in sport is so special.
These are people that like we're sort of living life with, And so in that sense,
Community.
I'm really lucky that I'm surrounded by such special, like amazing humans, like amazing athletes, yes, but like they're great humans too. And so I think I'm just like very privileged to be in the space that I'm in.
Do you normally start working with athletes after they get injured?
That's kind of how it used to be. It's a little bit different now though. Like, we're getting some of these athletes who are like, I'm healthy, like I just want to maximize, But I would say in general, it usually is like after a really traumatic injury or, hey, I don't feel like I used to feel, I don't feel like I want to feel, help me.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of,
Sitting in the position that you're in, helping athletes with sports performance, how do you feel when, you have a plan for an athlete and they do get injured? Like, how does that impact you? I guess because I know sometimes like you think of certain programs where a lot of people like tear their ACL. So there's like certain teams that like have this kind of like stigma about them a little bit. Like, and I think the first natural instinct is to like point the finger at like, who's the sports performance coach? Who's the PT, right?
Right.
So how do you feel like when, I guess, an athlete gets injured through your program?
So I think of it twofold. One, when it's someone else's program and I'm looking at it, I'm like, think about all the factors that go into that athlete. Yeah. I can't control the length of practice. I can't control how much you slept last night. I can't control where you're at on your cycle. There's so many different things. But if it's my athlete, immediately I'm like, okay, like running through, like, what could I have done differently? What could I have, I think you're always doing that as a performance coach because you just, when you're working with people this individually, like you're this deep in the foxhole with them, it's like you want to give them everything you have.
Well, I could tell you for sure it's not your plan. Like,
No, but like
you specifically,
it's like
you do an amazing job. You're
Oh,
at a
well,
very elite
no,
level
I mean,
with that.
it's-
But I can imagine
it's a
that.
part of it.
Yeah, it's a part of
Absolutely.
it for
Like,
sure.
Yes, you like feel that responsibility like very heavily.
Obviously, we know that you can't prevent injury.
Right.
You're not like this magic person that
I
can
actually
just.
hate that word. I hate like injury prevention because
Okay.
there is no such thing.
Yeah,
Right?
no,
Like,
there's not.
Injury is a part of sport.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's the part though that you're trying to prevent, like the contactless injuries, where it's like, okay, there was some sort of deficit there. It wasn't within the game, right? Like there was no one ran you over, and that happened as a result of like someone diving through your knees. Like that's going to be a part of sport, right? Like that's never going to go away. But it's like, I think controlling what you can control. That's sort of the injury reduction side of things.
Like that injury reduction.
Yeah, I think injury reduction is the term that I prefer to use. But then when we're looking at things, I don't actually like to look at it from an injury reduction standpoint. I like to look at it from a performance standpoint.
It's more of a positive mind frame.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not doing something so something doesn't happen.
Right.
It's doing something because this is what I want, right? Like I'm chasing something. And so that's where we try and direct our focus, right? Like we're chasing really fast sound decel with great alignment, right? And so that in and of itself, if you do that well, is going to help reduce injury, because oftentimes that's where it happens.
I think for me, when I think of injuries and the injuries that I went through, after my first injury, I was like, okay, I can come back stronger. But after I was doing it so many other times, that mental piece kicked in for me. And I was like, okay, mentally, I just can't get to that elite level anymore. And that's what always held me back. What is your experience when working with elite athletes and them being able to come back stronger from a major injury?
I think two things. One, I think you can't get there right away. I think it's important to be like, yeah, this sucks. Like be there with them, like hold their hand and be like, yeah, like this is okay. But then we've had that pity party, and now it's like, all right, we got to reframe. We are going to take this and the strength we're going to gain by getting from here to here. That once you're on that side, that's something no one can take from you, right? Like you've been through it. It's not going to be worse than this, and you have proved to yourself by the time you get there, you're going to be able to do anything, right? And so I think that a lot of these athletes, I think we can use Kelsey probably. She would be great with me saying this. I think she would say now, like, that was a blessing. I learned so much about myself and what I do when I'm faced with hard things, that when I'm now faced with hard things, like, I rely on that. Like, I've been through that shit, like, and I made it through. And so, like, where I am today, like, is a reflection of how I was able to overcome then, and I use that now mentally when I'm faced with hard things.
I think it also pushes you to do things that you wouldn't normally do if you were in the routine of being, you know, a player and not being injured, because you're not working on those like tangible things as much as you would be if you were injured. Not saying that like, oh, you need to be injured and like it's going to help you. No, but like there are moments and things that you can take away that you would never do if you weren't injured, that like will really optimize your performance when you're actually playing again.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Through injury.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think there are things that you decide that, hey, this actually, I really love how I feel when this is now included in my routine. And so part of your routine, once you are on the other side of that return to play, is reflective of how things went and what you felt during your recovery.
For sure. Know? Yeah.
I have like kind of a cool story. I won't use her name, but we worked with a young girl. We started with her when she was, I want to say a junior in high school. We started with her after her second ACL. And they had basically told her, like, hey, like, same thing with me, like, it's probably not going to be in the cards for you, like, second time, didn't go well. And she needed surgery on her other leg. And we're like, no, you don't. That leg is actually just really weak, and it's been taking the brunt of everything because the surgery leg, right? Like,
overcompensating.
Exactly. And so I wasn't sure, like, she wanted it. I couldn't, like, tell. And she, like, totally proved me wrong. Long story short, now playing D1, was in this crazy car accident, like, shattered pelvis. I mean, just
oh my God.
On her skateboard. I don't know the exact details, but crazy. And now she just tore her other ACL following that. And it's like, my husband's working with her now in the gym, and he's like, her attitude, it's like, we're great. Like, we're going to be back, because she's been through all these things. And he's like, this is nowhere near where we met you on this side. She's like, oh, I know.
Yeah.
Like, I know I got this. Like,
that's
and so
awesome.
It's like, do you know what I mean? It's like you sort of gain confidence of knowing, like, shit was bad. I made it through. Here I am. I got this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
That's really powerful.
How I hear you guys have overcome in these experiences is so inspirational, because this mindset can be applied to so many other things in our lives. We all deal with hard stuff, and injury is really, really hard. But whether it's injury or mental health or these things, like, it's all about your attitude.
Yeah. I think that's like actually absolutely the right thing. It's like, how are you approaching it?
Yeah.
Your energy is everything about it.
And there's people that, you know, when they have a major injury, they just say, forget it. You
Woe
know?
is me. Like, you know, there's
Yeah.
no, like,
Yeah, so it takes a certain level of commitment and just like a mindset and maybe a little bit of crazy to like,
slight dose of crazy.
you know?
I think
Love
that's
that.
like, everyone says that in the W. Like,
yeah,
everybody who's in here, there's just
Got
a
a
little
little-
something. And it's
Yeah.
so true.
it is
like,
true.
Oh, yeah. Like,
Yeah, you have it,
Yeah,
I have
I
it,
know.
for sure.
Do you feel like the industry is where it needs to be as far as technology to support, like recovery, nutrition, etc.? Or do you feel like there's just a bigger, more room for innovation in this space to help some of the things that we use to train and perform?
I think there's always room for innovation, especially on the female side. One of the things we're using these days is called Plantiga. And it's something that I'm sure you guys have heard of like Connexon, where people are putting
Yes.
tips
Yeah.
and stuff,
Yep.
right? Like that's pretty well known, very much so used in the NBA. It's in all the arenas, blah, blah, right? Plantiga actually goes into your shoe and it gives us asymmetry side to side. So for somebody who has had a previous injury or someone who is returning to play, super impactful in terms of being able to see like, oh, when she gets tired, all of a sudden that asymmetry this, and like where is that fatigue threshold? And so it's really something that for me, and again, some of these athletes we're working with, like we do have histories like this. I want to know that. I want to see that. I want to have tabs on it. Is it the end all be all to all decision making? Absolutely not. But can we see trends? Is that a great tool to have in our toolbox? Yes. Yeah. So that's one of the things, and I'm constantly learning more about it. But these are tools that I think are really beneficial to have. Again, it's like a collection of things that we're using with these guys. That's one of the things. Another thing we're doing is called Springbok. It's a 3D MRI. I'm sure you've had a bazillion MRIs in your life, right? You see the joint, you see the meniscus, you see all of those things. This is an MRI in 3D of all the musculature in your body. So, for example, one of the ACL, like really high level, high profile ACL return to plays that I was a part of, we could see we took it baseline, I think 6 weeks after her surgery, and then we did it 3 months and 6 months, and you can see the growth and also still like the differential side to side, and it's like very motivating for an athlete to be like, wow, I just gained 48% quad strength in this past 6 week block. Like, keep fucking going. Like, this is working, like that type of thing. Or we can look at it and say, hey, we still have a 12% deficit. It's related directly, we're going to do this, this, and this, but also I can see that this left hip is also at it. So that's affecting, so it's like there's all these different correlations. And that's been something that has been a really cool piece to sort of add and build into these player profiles that we're working with. That was one of the first things I did at Unrivaled. I was the director of performance. And that was one of the things that I really wanted to have for everyone there. And so we built it into our sort of medical and performance intake with everyone. And so it was just, they had a mobile trailer where they had this MRI machine in it. It was part of our rotation. They went out and did it. And so everyone will have that mark in the sand from this is where we were. And ideally, most were, healthy. And so it's like, we see where you're at when you're healthy. If God forbid something's to happen to one of them during the year, we have that to compare it to. And then we also have it to compare it to next year when they come back. And hopefully that's, again, part of the process. So
Wow.
That is amazing.
there's some